Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Jlongo back here with a new video, and today we're going to be going over NFL Week 2 2024 picks. Last week we went a nice 11-5 to start the year off with a profit of $773. That is, if you put $100 on each one of my picks, that would have rounded you out to $2,373 total off of $1,600 spent. This week, hopefully we go 12-4. Anything better would feel a lot nicer. Starting off this Thursday, we got Bills at the Dolphins. The last 12 times these teams have played, the Bills have got the best of them. But Josh Allen does what he does best, and that's run when he's scared. Man, was this guy afraid to throw the ball. He had little trust in his receivers. I seen that Dalton Kincaid got open a couple times. Shout out to him. Made me eat my words a little bit. I'm sure you'll hear that again in the video. But the Bills look good on offense as always. Josh Allen knows how to get that first down even when there isn't even one in the picture. The Dolphins seem to struggle at first on offense. The Dolphins kind of concerned me. Their run game wasn't being able to find openings. But their receivers, no matter getting arrested before the game or after, they're always open. It don't matter what kind of ties these teams have against this NFL roster. Tyreek Hill seems to always find a way into that end zone. You can handcuff him or not, he's always open. I like the Dolphins here in -2.5 to start the week. They should have no problem covering by 3. Like I said before, this Dolphins team should be able to score 21+ points against any team in the NFL. And if I see them doing 21 points against these Bills, I only see the Bills being able to score 17 against this Dolphins defense. No, they're not locked down, and no, they're not guaranteed, but if Mike McDaniels can seem to figure out how to just contain Josh Allen, I don't see any other way these Bills can score. He ran the ball in the end zone for 2 touchdowns last week, and I see him being able to force passes and creating a lot of turnovers. Give me the Dolphins -2.5. Straight into Sunday, no Friday game, thank God. That Brazil game last week was a little wacky. We got the Seahawks at the Patriots. First Sunday game, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Seahawks, I like their defense. They looked very good against rookie Bo Nix. Bo Nix struggled a lot on the passing game. Seahawks are pretty locked down. They have a great run game. They were able to run for several first downs. Kenneth Walker is a great healthy back. I like the Patriots, though. The Patriots defense really stepped up against Joe Burrow. I got to give it to Jlongo. He made me eat my words quite a bit. I thought the Bengals were going to blow the Patriots out, but they made me and the rest of the people who were backing the Bengals look like a fool. And that you should be. Jared Mayo knows what he's doing, and that's why he's a coach in the NFL. Jared Mayo and Jacoby Brissett were able to make every right decision on offense to keep them ahead. I like their run game. Their offensive line seemed to do pretty good in it. They didn't do too good on the pass protection. This is where I see the Seahawks getting the advantage of them. I like the Seahawks here in New England with a -2.5 spread. Give me the Seahawks all day. They have a great history against this Patriots team, especially in New England. Moving on, Chargers at Panthers. One of the bigger spreads of the week. Several spreads at -6.5. A lot of favorites at 6.5 this week. Chargers at Panthers, though, 1 game. Superchargers! This team looked good on the ground, over the air. They were a bit of a scare. They don't have any receivers, really. But the run game looks solid. Their offensive line is one of the best in the NFL now. And if you would have heard me say that 5 years ago, you would have think I was crazy. Chargers offensive rookie, Joe Alt, allowed 0 pressures, keeping Herbert completely healthy in week 1. I see the Chargers exploring a lot of new plays in the passing game against this Panthers defense. This Panthers team is a complete disaster. The Panthers allowed almost 50 points against the Saints in week 1. Panthers on offense struggle very badly. Bryce Young is still having trouble seeing past the offensive line. The receivers struggle to get open, and if they do, Bryce Young is going to miss them by at least 10 yards. The Chargers defense looked very quick, very healthy. They gave up a couple penalties here and there, but I see them limiting this Panthers offense to no more than 17 points. I see the Chargers scoring at least 24, 28. Give me the Chargers minus 6.5 in this one in Carolina. Moving on, Colts at Packers. No Love. Love got hurt week 1, tried a little too hard. You could see where he was the team and more. This team really relies on Jordan Love to get out there and make the right decision. The quarterback stepping in like Malik Willis, who I didn't even know they had till this previous weekend. I see Malik Willis turning the ball over several times. They're going to rely on their run game on offense. Their defense ain't too much to back up, especially against a young quarterback like AR, who ain't the best at making the right decision, but he's very mobile. And man, can this guy throw the ball far. He made 2 complete passes over 65 yards in the air. Craziest stuff I've ever seen. Gave a little bit of shines to Vince Young there with throwing the deep ball, but he's able to scramble for that first down whenever he needs it, and that's why I like the Colts here. Give me the Colts, bump it up to minus 4.5, slam it down. Really, if you want to bump this one up, there's no reason the Colts shouldn't win more than a touchdown here. Jets at Titans. Pack your bags, folks. You can't miss this one. I got reservations made at the Marriott there in Nashville. I'm flying in this weekend, pigging out at the finest barbecue you could find. Might even stop in and watch a little Theo Vaughn. Give me the Titans here, plus 3.5. There's no way these New Yorkers can travel from the West Coast back to the East Coast to play any better than they did. Yeah, they might have went up against one of the better teams in the NFL, but this Titans defense seemed to hold up against the Bears. It's the offense you got to worry about. Will Levis, send him back to college already. Week 1 made some of the worst decisions I've ever seen. He literally threw this game away, gave it straight back to the Bears for a lead, and then couldn't come back from it. I like the Titans, though, to really cover because their defense showed some signs, and I think this quarterback might be able to bounce back, especially against a struggling offense in the Jets. They weren't able to run the ball, let alone throw the ball. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers will do his thing a little bit, but it's getting old. I like the Titans here, plus 3.5. Give it to me. Moving on. Raiders at Ravens. All about Lamar. Will he show up? Or will he show out? This guy's more unpredictable than a Cracker Jacks quote. I like the Ravens here. Spread's minus 9.5. Go ahead and give me the Ravens here. I don't like this Raiders defense. I trusted them too much in week 1 and they killed me. Losing by 12 points against the Chargers, who's just finding their way, finding their rhythm on how to pave this way in the NFL, where they play to get paid. I like the Raiders here to lose by at least 14 points, but the sportsbooks got it at 9.5. Might as well ride it there safe at 10. I don't see the Raiders even scoring more than 10 points. Gardner Minshew looked terrible here in this opener. I don't like the Raiders offense moving the ball against this veteran Ravens defense. I especially like the Ravens offense against this Raiders defense. If the Chargers can move the ball that much, then why can't the Ravens? Derrick Henry, I may have gave him a lot of shit in week 1's video, but the guy's still the king. He can move the ball, and I believe he'll move the rock just as easy here. Give me the Ravens minus 9.5. Moving on, 49ers at Vikings. Sam who? Don't forget, 49ers, you're the one who let go of this quarterback, so you should know everything about him coming into week 2. I really like this 49ers team. I feel like everybody forgot how good they were. They came in here at home and whooped Aaron Rodgers' butt. I didn't see Aaron Rodgers doing too hot, especially coming off an Achilles tear. He looked about as unconfident as a nerd at a pep rally. 49ers offense didn't struggle too much, maybe in the first quarter, but they seemed to move the ball very well. Very dangerous. I don't know if this veteran Vikings defense can be able to slow down the 49ers. But honestly, at a 6.5 point spread, I like the underdogs here. Give me Sam Darnold and the Vikings. Yeah, this Kyle Shanahan should know everything about this Sam Darnold after he played there for a year, but shouldn't Sam Darnold know anything in and out about this 49ers defense? I look for him to exploit them. I know he doesn't have a lot of hype behind him, especially him not producing as many numbers as opportunities that he's got to play in the NFL. But I like Sam Darnold. He looked pretty confident week 1 against the sorry Giants defense. I like the Vikings here plus 6.5. Moving on. Giants at Commanders. No way the Giants lose. Right? This Giants team looked more awful than a group of illegal immigrants trying to cross the border. I like the Giants, though, to come up with the upset here against the Commanders. Jaden Daniels seemed to only be able to run the ball. There was no confidence in the passing game, and with a pass rush in the Giants, even though they didn't really get the Sam Darnold in week 1, I really like them here. I don't see the Commanders' offensive line holding up any, and I don't see their run game producing anything against the Giants. I know the Vikings had to throw a lot, and they did that with ease. I don't see the Commanders throwing the ball as easily, though. I really like the Giants upsetting the Commanders here, and you can get them easy and get them hot, whether an underdog. Get them on the money line. Don't worry about the spread on this one. I like the Giants upsetting the Washington Kamalas. The Giants defense didn't play up to par, but I expect their pass rush to do a lot more against this rookie. Jaden Daniels struggled in the throwing game, and he ran as much as Josh Allen did. I think that Jaden Daniels will struggle. I like the Giants offense to find their rhythm in the pass game a little bit better here in week 2. Give me the Giants money line all day against the struggling Commanders offensive organization. Cliff Kingsbury might have a well name behind him, but he hasn't made one for himself, especially yet here in Washington. I like the Giants upsetting the Commanders at home. Giants money line. Saints at Cowgirls. Cowboys, sorry. Gotta give the team respect where respect's due. Know there's a lot of Cowboys fans out there, but I gotta give you shit. Might be America's team, but it's one of my least favorites. Cowboys are 6.5 points favorites. I know it moved up to 7 recently. Yeah, we're looking at 7s now. Might even drop down to 6. Who knows? I like the Saints, though. I got them at opening at 6.5, so I took it. Saints plus 6.5. The Saints offense seemed to do pretty good against the worst team in the NFL week 1. They will deal with a lot more pass rush, probably 3 times as amount as pass rush as the Panthers were giving them. Michael Parsons played phenomenal. I know Deshaun Watson got 25 QB pressures week 1. I don't like this team to score too many points, but I do see the Saints to keep up with the Cowboys. Cowboys struggled on offense to find open receivers. Dak Prescott just got paid, and as he should. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. CeeDee Lamb with a little soggy start, as I predicted. Brandon Cooks really backed it up, though, getting a lot more targets than CeeDee Lamb, even playing more snaps than CeeDee Lamb. He's a veteran. He's played more than 10 years in this NFL, and he deserves the credit that he's got. I like Brandon Cooks and the Cowboys to win here, but I'm all about playing that spread, baby. Give me the Saints plus 6.5. I like Derek Carr to keep this one close. He looked great week 1, especially this defense. Very locked down. Yeah, they might have played the worst team in the NFL, but I like the Saints plus 6.5. Moving on. Browns at Jaguars. I know the Browns struggled in week 1 terribly, being favorites against the Cowboys, but I really think the sportsbooks got that one wrong. They didn't know about Deshaun's needs, and that is to get one off. And that's all he cared about, clearly. The Browns' offense seemed to struggle. They let up 25 pressures to Deshaun Watson. The Jaguars seemed to move the ball quick against the Dolphins in the first half, but they got slowed down in the second half. And I could really see the Browns' defense buckling down here and trying to make a name for themselves, especially with Mike Vrabel there over on the defensive side. I like the Browns here to keep this one close, but I see the Jaguars pulling away. They should be able to score at least a touchdown's more of a difference against this Browns team. I don't like Deshaun Watson, and neither should you. This guy's a slime ball. I really like the Jaguars and what they got going on. Good quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. They're nothing but average, but They should have no problem against this struggling Cleveland Browns organization. Give me the Jaguars minus 3.5 at home. Moving on. Bucks at Lions. Future playoff preview? I don't know, you tell me. Even though the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield looked great on offense, scoring almost 50 points against the Commanders' defense, that may be one of the worst defenses in the whole NFL. That is, especially when it comes to the pass game. I know the Buccaneers were able to get every first down they needed in this one, but I don't think the Lions secondary is going to allow that. I don't like how the Lions pursued against the Rams here in week 1 with the run game, but they were very physical on offense. They seemed to control the game with the offensive rush game, and I don't think that the Buccaneers can really slow that down too much more. I know that Matthew Stafford did his thing late in the game to keep it close. I don't expect Baker Mayfield to do the same thing. I like the Lions here to win, but I do have a little bit of trust in Baker Mayfield, especially after throwing that good on week 1. And he's got receivers like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin always open. I like these guys to keep it close. Give me the Bucks plus 6.5. I like them all day. And the game is in Detroit. Detroit just had a home game. Back-to-back home games. They're going to feel a little lazy and lousy this week. I like the Buccaneers to keep it close. They might even win this one, honestly. Rams at Cardinals. Old versus the new. Matthew Stafford's got a couple grays in that beard now. But he looks solid against the Lions, especially in the second half. Lost the receiver Puka Nacua is really going to slow this team down offensively. Defense looked kind of solid, but not too physical in the run game. Cardinals' James Conner looked very fast, pretty healthy for an injury banged up career that he's had. I like the Cardinals here all day to win as favorites minus 2.5. Go ahead and bump it up. I'm pretty sure it's at 1.5. Go ahead. It might even be at 1. Bump this one up to 2.5. I like Kyler Murray in this offense. Expect them to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot more. And their tight end, Trey McBride. I like both of those guys. They seem to get open and do their jobs really well. Marvin Harrison, I didn't see him blocking a lot in the run game, but he's probably going to be a distraction in the play-action game more than he is going to be a versatile threat downfield. I like the Cardinals to control the clock on this game and get an easy win by a field goal, especially since the Rams defense gives up so much. Moving on. Bengals at Chiefs. Was it a fluke? Bengals made me look like a real fool. I had them winning by 9.5 points against the Patriots. They barely even scored that. Joe Burrow with his whack new hairdo. I hope he comes in here slinging it, honestly. What else does he got to lose after week 1? He's got great receivers in Jamar Chase, Mike Gesicki, and T. Higgins. Those guys should have no problem getting open against these Chiefs replaced secondary. Yeah. The Chiefs did great against the Ravens, but did you see how many receptions Zay Flowers got against them? I see Jamar Chase balling out in this one. I know I said that last week, but I still have confidence in the Bengals. This spread is set at 6.5. It moved down to 5.5. I got the Bengals at 6.5 already. So give me the Bengals at 6.5. You guys might have to take them at +5. Move it up to 6.5 for around minus 135. I got them at +6.5 at 110. I like it. I'm slamming it down. Chiefs look like Super Bowl champions, but need a breather though. I see them coming back again here at home, and just like the Lions, maybe playing this one a little easier, since they're comfortable. Give me the Bengals all day. This team might even win, Steelers at Broncos. Too high to steal anything this time. We're a mile above sea level here at the Broncos Stadium. I like Bo Nixon to start. Didn't make all the best decisions, but he did run the ball well. He got the first downs, got the touchdowns to keep the game close. Broncos covered there for me. I really like the Steelers, though. The Steelers' defense seems to be one of the best in the NFL. They really did shock me against the Atlanta Falcons. I thought Kirk Cousins was going to be able to slice and dice more against that weak secondary, but he had no options. Found a receiver open early, and that was about it. I like the Steelers defense a lot, especially with the way TJ Watt is playing. This guy is lights out of his mind. One of the greatest players of all time already, especially during my generation. Shout out to TJ. You're the man representing Steeler Nation. Steelers, I'm going to bump them up and slam them down to a -5.5. I see them winning this game by 6 points. Broncos just lost by 6 points last week. Spread's at -3 as I'm looking at. I got it at a good -5.5 to really make some money on this one. I don't see this Broncos defense being able to slow down Justin Fields, let alone that run game. The Seahawks were able to run all over the Broncos in week 1. I see the Steelers doing the same exact thing. Give me the Steelers -5.5. Bears at Texans. Sunday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. I like the Texans here. Spread's a little big at 6.5. But the Bears offense struggled a lot, and I believe that's why this is at the way it is. I like the Texans because of their defense being able to control the run game. They got a lot of stops there. Yeah, they gave up a couple deep throws, but who else is going to be able to throw the ball 65 yards in the air? I especially don't see Caleb Williams doing this. He struggled to throw the ball deep. He made a lot of bad decisions, costing this Bears offense to go down a lot in the first half. I like the Texans here to close this one out. Win by ease. I like the Texans at -6.5. Yeah, the Bears defense looked great week 1 and did as I expected. They covered for me. But Texans should steamroll them. I like Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs. What a better combo than that in the offseason pickup, especially with a quarterback like C.J. Stroud handling the ball. Give me the Texans -6.5. Moving on. Falcons at Eagles. Monday night, September 16th at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. This is the last game on the slate. And I like the underdogs here. I'm going with a lot of underdogs this week, but these spreads are too big to not pass up on, man. How can you give a team like the Falcons 6.5 points against the struggling Eagles? I know they look good later in the game against the Packers defense, but who is this Packers defense? And wow, did that offense struggle. They should have had 3 more touchdowns against this Eagles defense. They got the ball inside the red zone several times on turnovers and were only able to kick field goals. And they were lucky to make them. I like the Eagles winning this game, don't get me wrong, but I could see Kirk Cousins bouncing back after facing the best defense one of the best defenses in the NFL and keeping this one close. I like the Falcons at +6.5. I know the line has not really moved a lot on this one, and that's for a reason. I don't see the Eagles scoring a lot against this Falcons defense, even though Jalen Hurts has been making a lot of good decisions. I like the Falcons to keep this one competitive. Give me the Falcons at +6.5 at -110 to close the week off. All right, folks, that's it for week 2 of the NFL 2024 picks. Hopefully we sweep the slate, going 16-0. Last week we went 11-5. Not too shabby. I like the lines that we got this week, and I'm confident. I hope you are all too. If you like this video, leave a like down below. If you have any other opinions on the picks, leave a comment down below. And if you feel like sharing, maybe hit the subscribe button and show a buddy or two. I appreciate all the support, folks. And until week 3, have a blessed one. Let's make this money.